Hey folks, good morning and welcome to this episode of MC Commute starring Harley-Davidson Road Glide. All right, everybody, there it is, Harley-Davidson's Road Glide. This is a heavyweight V-twin cruiser from Harley-Davidson Motor Company out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This particular model was last updated for the 2024 model year, and it carries on for 2025. It's powered by a giant 117 cubic inch air, oil, and water-cooled cylinder head V-twin engine, 45-degree V-twin that makes upwards of 90 horsepower at the business end of that rear tire and over 100 pound-feet of torque from just off idle. How cool is that? This particular Road Glide is outfitted in Harley-Davidson's Iron Horse metallic paint job, which looks super tasty. This Road Glide differs from the Street Glide in that it has a fixed fairing, where the Street Glide's fairing moves with the handlebar. All right, folks, enough talking about this V-twin cruiser. Let's swing a leg over and see what it's like to ride in. Now, seated out the controls of this motorcycle, number one is this seat. This seat really cups your posterior region in a way like this. It's literally cupping your behind, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is you're really locked in to the motorcycle, but the bad thing is there's not a lot of room for you to move fore and aft on the seat. Initially around town for 20, 30, 40, 50 miles, the seat's really comfortable, but then once you start logging upwards of 100 miles, this seat kind of gets your lower back, at least it gets mine. I wish the seat had a little bit more room to stretch out on. Now, conversely, in terms of legroom, there's a copious amount of legroom on this motorcycle. We have forward mount controls, so a lot of room to move your feet, and there's also nice floorboards for your feet to rest on. Of course, we have a traditional manual shift lever without a heel shifter. A heel shifter would be a really nice feature on this motorcycle. We love heel shifters on V-twin cruisers. It allows you to step on the shift lever and upshift into the next cog. The rear brake pedal, conversely, is very easy to use. It's nice and big. We love these bagger style bikes because they always have really nice, strong brakes, which we'll get to in a little bit. Now, this Road Glide has a fixed front fairing, which does a marvelous job of cutting through the elements. It also looks super cool. We have this really nice louver, which does a fine job of putting air onto the rider and reducing helmet buffeting. There's also two louvers on either side of the bike right here, which we can adjust for more or less airflow. Really nice. This bike is really nice for logging miles on. Aside from the questionable performance of the seat, of course, everyone's body type is different. We're 6 foot tall, 191 pounds, so maybe that's the reason why the seat is less than comfortable for us for long duration rides. But still, we like that the seat really locks you into place. That's really neat. Now, this vehicle is powered by 117 cubic inch air, oil, and water-cooled cylinder heads, 45-degree V-twin. This engine is good for upwards of 90 horsepower at the business end of that rear wheel, and it puts out over 115 pound-feet of torque, with most of that torque coming from just over 1,500 RPMs. How crazy is that? Now, this engine also features fuel injection, one-cam design with the 4-valve cylinder heads. Harley-Davidson has been engineering these engine configurations forever, and it really shows in the polish of the ride. This engine's super smooth. It purrs in such a pleasing way. It's crazy that this exhaust on this Road Glide stock, because this engine just sounds so good. We love hearing the power pulses of this big V-twin. Of course, this ride-by-wire throttle is calibrated marvelously. And this Road Glide now features adjustable combined engine and throttle power mode maps. Simple push of the button here, the mode button, allows you to switch between modes, which you can see right here on this gorgeous 12+ inch color TFT display, which is also touchscreen compatible. How cool is that? Nice job, Harley-Davidson, paying attention to the details. Oh, those are those nice 4-piston axial mount front calipers. We also have a 4-piston rear brake caliper. The stopping power on this bike's awesome. It's worth noting that the braking hardware on this vehicle is sourced from Brembo. Harley-Davidson's been using Brembo brakes for decades at this point. They just don't label them as such. But the brakes on this bike are awesome. We also like the nice high-quality metal braided brake line. The rest of the powertrain, of course, we have a cable actuated clutch that is more responsive
and has slightly lighter lever pull than the old Harley-Davidson baggers, putting power back via 6-speed transmission and a belt vinyl drive. Speaking of the transmission, we love the solid engagement between each of the 6 forward cogs. If there's one thing Harley-Davidson gets right, it's the mechanical feel of this motorcycle, including the 6-speed transmission. It has a really pleasing shift engagement, real mechanical, visceral feel, which we really like. Right now we're riding this bike in the road setting. Let's switch to sport and give it maximum berries. All right, we're switching to sport, folks, right here for maximum berries. Oh, these power pulses of this bike feel mighty good. This motorcycle rolls on a steel frame with a Showa Source suspension. We have 4.7 inches of travel up front and 3 inches of travel out rear via the dual Showa preload adjustable shocks. In typical Harley-Davidson spirit, this motorcycle glides over the asphalt. It is crazy how comfortable this motorcycle is in terms of its ride quality. It does a marvelous job of filtering out bumps and broken pavement. Equally impressive is how agile this bike is in motion. Now, for sure, when you're lifting this bike off the kickstand or loading it or unloading out of a van, this bike is no lightweight. But with wheels in motion, it is crazy agile.
All right, everyone, so far so good on Harley-Davidson's Road Glide bagger style motorcycle. Not only does this bike look totally awesome, but it rides like a dream. Let's show you inside the lockable storage containers and see how much cargo capacity they have. There you go, folks, a latch right there, and there we go. We can open these containers and throw all of our goodies inside. Again, you gotta always remember to close that latch right here. There is the key fob. This motorcycle has a mechanical key to lock the steering head, but you actually use this wireless key fob to proximity key fob to start the motorcycle. How cool is that? Let's close this thing up. Let's get back on the road, guys. We got more riding to be had. Woo!
All right, folks, that was a fun little break. Where were we? Oh, again, the weight of this motorcycle, 838 pounds with a full 6.3 gallons of fuel. This motorcycle certainly isn't any featherweight, especially when you're lifting off the kickstand. But in motion, it is crazy how agile this bike is. This bike is so agile that even on these slower speed roads, this bike handles so well. It's really crazy how nice these Harley-Davidson motorcycle baggers handle in the corners. Of course, they don't have a ton of ground clearance, but they have enough to put a smile on your face, and they are super fun to ride in the corners, dare we say that. Another cool feature about this bagger style Road Glide, in addition to the big humongous storage, is there's more storage here. We have 2 containers right here, and there's a USB-C charging port so you can charge your phone and other devices. Sadly, the Space Road Glide doesn't have the cool storage compartment that the CVO Street Glide and CVO Road Glide have. We have a pair of 5.25 inch speakers delivering 50 watts of power. Let's play some tunes. Oh yeah, baby, ZZ Top, my favorite. My favorite. I love ZZ Top. What a fitting artist to ride on this Harley-Davidson bagger. I'd say it sounds pretty good. What do you guys think? Of course, we can always change the EQ and other settings right here via this chunky switchgear that works really nice. There we go. We're in the sound menu, as you can see here. We also can do it with the touch of a finger if we want to. How cool is that? We'll use the switch pad though, just because this chunky switchgear works so well. Our only knock on the switchgear is it's not backlit. Harley-Davidson, can we please have some backlit switchgear on this $28,000 plus MSRP Road Glide? That would be really nice. Gosh, this bike just sounds awesome, whether it's the sound of the 45-degree V-twin or this 5.25 inch 50-watt speakers. This thing belts out the music. It's also really easy to pair your Android or iOS powered smartphone with the vehicle via this super slick operating system that Harley-Davidson has engineered. Really easy to use. We really like this 12-inch color display. The fonts are super sharp and super crisp. This bike has all the bells and whistles, including TPMS. Of course, that fuel gauge which keeps track of the 6.3 gallon fuel tank. And overall, just a really, really nice, feature-rich navigation display. This display is really slick. You can also make phone calls and do business if you're a business type person and you like to do business on the run. This Road Glide features triple disc hydraulic brakes. We talked about that. 4-piston calipers, axial mount. Really good braking power. Of course, we have fixed always on ABS. ABS you cannot manually disable. This bike also has IMU powered traction control. So we have traction control that helps keep power drifts to a minimum with all that 100+ pound-feet of torque at the rear wheel. And of course, if you're feeling like lighting up the rear tire, you can manually disable traction control with a push of a button. You do have to be stopped. Now, we talked about this 45-degree V-twin, how much power it has. But gosh, it is so smooth. Yes, you do feel a little bit of engine vibration through the floorboards and the handlebar, but it's the right kind of vibration. It's the kind of vibration that makes you feel like you're riding a classic V-twin motorcycle. It's not overpowering by any means. It's really well calibrated. If there's one thing Harley-Davidson does right, a couple things, it would be the noise, vibration, and harshness. They do a really good job. This engine, this powertrain is very, very smooth. It has just the right amount of engine vibration that makes you feel like you're riding an awesome V-twin bagger motorcycle. Let's shift her up into 6th gear. Right now we're in top gear. The engine's just humming just below 1500 RPM. We have full access to all of that torque. How cool is that? Now, in terms of fuel economy on this bike, we've averaged 36 miles per gallon, which is pretty good for an 838-pound bike. Let's let all that 90 horsepower eat for a second, folks. Oh yeah! Oh, we hit the rev limiter early. Oh, I love this thing. Oh gosh, this thing hauls. Woo! Woo! Oh, we're going way too fast. We're going way too fast, guys. I apologize. We got up to 95 miles per hour. This bike and this engine's just so fun to ride. Good thing we have cruise control. Let's enable it by pushing our index finger on this top of the switch gear. Just push the button backwards, and now we have cruise control activated. We're going to keep our speed at a constant 51 miles per hour. If we want to cancel or disengage cruise control, all we have to do is operate the clutch brake or roll forward on the throttle, and it automatically disconnects, and then we can re-enable it. How cool is that, folks? Now, in previous years, Harley-Davidson sometimes would get a bad rap for its air oil-cooled engine, throwing off a lot of heat onto the rider. Right now, it's around 82 degrees ambient air temperature, and I'd say this powertrain's flowing air really well. I wouldn't say my feet are crazy hot or my legs are crazy hot. Harley-Davidson does cite the water-cooled cylinder heads as one reason why they did that, to not only increase rider comfort and reduce engine heat being expelled onto the rider, but it also allows Harley-Davidson to get a little bit more power out of the bike. Keeps those 4-valve cylinder heads a little bit more in operating temperature for maximum efficiency and power production. Say they've done a pretty good job of that. These rear view mirrors are mighty fine. They do a nice job of showing off what's behind you. I like how Harley-Davidson continues to use this sort of teardrop style shape. They're not the biggest mirrors, but the surface area is functional. And again, there is a little bit of vibration through the mirrors, but for a big heavyweight V-twin, we'd say it's pretty dang good in terms of minimal engine vibration. Once again, we can't talk about it enough. Harley-Davidson did a really good job of the dynamics of the vibration of the engine. There's just enough vibration to make the motorcycle feel fun and alive, but not so much to make it feel like it was just engineered with vibration willy-nilly style like other American V-twin manufacturers do. All right, folks, a nice turn. More berries, yes! Oh, I love this thing. This thing just, it gets up and goes, and it sounds so awesome, folks.
Well, everyone, that was a real hoot riding Harley-Davidson's Road Glide V-twin style bagger. This motorcycle is awesome. Not only does it look awesome and really stay true to Harley-Davidson's V-twin roots, but it's got all the bells and whistles of a new bike. We really like those water-cooled cylinder heads, which give the engine a lot more power, but still retain that signature Harley-Davidson sound and character. And that 12-inch 12 plus inch color TFT display. It's awesome. It looks super sharp. It's easy to use. We love that it's touchscreen compatible, and you can really have a modern riding experience with the Bluetooth enabled iOS and Android phone integration and CarPlay. So you can use all your phone features just like you were in a modern automobile. This is a really nice motorcycle. And if you're looking for a really exquisite bagger, check out this $28,000 Road Glide from Harley-Davidson. It carries a multi-year warranty and is made in America. We'll see you in the next episode.